everybody, welcome to the Hacienda. Rivet here. Today we're going to make something from Zacatecas, Mexico. We're going to make tacos envenenados, or poison tacos. Yeah, I got this cookbook for Christmas, and I had never heard of these tacos, but on page 220, and let me pull it open to you, I ran across it. Where are we? Here we go. Tacos envenenados. And it's got a really interesting backstory. They were invented back in the 40s by a taquero called Don Lauro. And he had a taco stand by the railroad station. And he concocted these. And they became very famous. And they are a thing. So join me and let's get started. You can see the plethora of food here. And the interesting thing about these tacos is it's a combination of beans, potato, and meat, and of course onion, all mixed together and mashed into a paste. And that's how you make your tacos. So let's get going. In with a burger that we're cooking over medium heat, we're going to want to mash it down and get it into the smallest pieces possible. Now, Don Lauro, when he invented this, it was such a hit. He originally made it with chorizo and then made it with beef. They kept asking him, hey, what do you call these? And he didn't have a name for them. And they also wanted to know his recipe. And so we're going to have the onions here. And he wouldn't tell them. And now Don Lauro had a sense of humor. And they kept pestering him. They wanted to know what was in these delicious tacos of his. So one day, just out of the blue, he said veneno, which in Spanish means poison. And so they laughed, and you know, they knew he had a good sense of humor. And from then on, his secret ingredient was poison. So they just started calling them poison tacos. And when they'd go to his stall, they'd say, hey, I want a pair of poison tacos, and the name stuck. And on top of that, what he did is he put up a sign on his little stall that said, si quiere envenenarse, come tacos, which means in English, if you want to get poisoned, eat tacos. So that was a big hit, and the rest is history. So let's keep cooking this down. The meat is cooked through, and I've been mincing it as best as I can, and the onions and the serranos are softening up. So now we're going to add some of this Cheater's cilantro, the paste. It's very nice, and we're going to add, cilantro's good, so we're going to add about that much. And by the way, if you were wondering, that's 2 pounds of meat. Now we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce. You'll see all the quantities in the ingredients in the notes below. And to that, we're going to add the rest of the spices and herbs. And at this point, 1 can of Mexican salsa. Okay, we're going to keep cooking and stirring and mashing down. Now here is where it starts to get interesting. Remember those potatoes we had? Well, I boiled them and drained them, and now we are going to use a potato masher, and we're going to mash them up. You can see what a nice thick pasty consistency this has become, which is exactly what we want. Now it gets further interesting. Now comes the refried beans, and we're going to put a bunch in there and break out the trusty potato masher and get to work again. Alright, they're coming together pretty well now. All the beans are incorporated. By the way, I used that entire can, 31 ounces of beans, and I've tasted this. Tasting pretty damn poisonous. This is good stuff. All those spices have really come together well, and you really can't single out any one flavor. but it's really, really good. And so I think Don Lauro was onto something with some little extraterrestrial help or something to concoct this. So this is all cooked. Let's go ahead and start making tacos. Okay, now Don Lauro made two kinds of tacos. And one, they were all out of flour tortillas, by the way. He called blanditos, which means soft. And I probably put a little too much in there, but with the fluff. We'll call that a day. And then we'll take some Oaxaca cheese and put it in there, and the heat will melt it. And there you go. A taco venenoso, envenenado, blandito. Now we're going to make the fried ones, which is the other style. And here they are, deliciously browned, flipped over for the other side. They're nice and crispy. Oh, I can't wait to taste it. So join me then. Alright, I got my napkin here. I want to try one of these crunchy ones first. Oh gosh, that's hot. Oh, that is volcanic, but tasty. Oh my. Don Lauro, when he started in the 40s, obviously, he fried it in lard. We don't fry in lard anymore nowadays. Corn oil works very nicely. Gives it a real nice taste. Oh. Gooey cheese. Perfect foil for the meat and the beans. That's queso Oaxaca. You can use queso Chihuahua if you want to. Just a good melty cheese. The insides are sort of spicy, but not really. They're more just savory. And I can see why people fell in love with them and got confused, because if I didn't cook them, I would have no clue what's in there. But it's delicious. And it all comes together symbiotically. And clearly you can tell there's cheese in there, obviously, which works very well with the meat and stuff paste. But that is out of this world. And I can see why it's famous now in Mexico. And I had never heard of it. And I'm glad I got the cookbook. Thanks, Lizzie and Eric. You guys are great. I intend on cooking a lot more foods out of there. Thanks for watching, people. Y'all take care.